Welcome back to Texas Nation. I'm Grant Levinson. I'm sitting here with Aaron Wolf and Nathan Castro, and it is now time for our roundtable segment. Guys, I want to talk about the NBA trade deadline. There's a lot of teams that made moves and a lot of teams that didn't. One shocking move to me was that Amari Stoudemire stayed home. He did not move. Aaron, what's your opinion on that?
I was surprised that Suns didn't get rid of him, but at the same time, Cleveland's not a team for him. He's a high flyer, dunker. He doesn't have much post game, and for that same reason, they already had that LeBron. They don't need another guy jamming the same bull rush to the rim mentality. They need a post player. They need somebody who can play 3 feet, 5 feet from the basket. I think Antawn Jamison was a good pickup for what is available. I think they did well, and I see why Stoudemire did not go over to Cleveland.
To quote an analyst who was on ESPN, Amari and Shaq together, we've already seen that. The fact is they're both space eaters. They both like to be in the paint. But the fact about Amari Stoudemire, a lot of people have doubts about him, is he doesn't rebound at a high level. He doesn't play defense at all. With his athleticism, he should have at least average about 2 or 3 blocks a game. But the fact is, and a lot of people are looking at it, he's not a max player, and he's not going to get max money. So the fact is that he's just not a good pick for a lot of teams. But I was surprised too. I thought that maybe Chicago might have tried to get in there and try to get him, but I guess Phoenix is probably going to be his only destination, really, and it's going to be up to Phoenix if they want him, and if not, well, he'll find a team. Somebody's going to pay him the money, but the fact is that I don't think he's going to get max money like he's expected.
You're right. Someone is going to give him the money, and I could have sworn he was going to go to at least Miami if he wasn't going to go to Cleveland, but that turned out to be the other way around. The Mavs get Caron Butler. They basically redo their whole roster. Do you think this helps their chances? Now, they're already in the lead when it comes to the Southwest Division. Do you think this ups their chances or hurts their chances coming late down the playoff stretch?
I think it does a lot, but I think getting rid of Josh Howard and getting a guy in there like Caron Butler, you got both of them can create their own shot, but you got a little more. You got a harder worker, I think. You got a guy that's less prone to injury, and not to mention another side to it. I think the Spurs are really helping them out. The Spurs are not as dominant as they were, and they're allowing the Mavericks to just to run away with this division. It seems like. So I think the trade helped with. The Spurs not playing very well, and I mean, come on, let's not talk about the Rockets. I mean, Rockets, who are they? So.
Yeah, Rockets have been in trouble. I totally agree with you about the Dallas thing, and you look at the 3 players they got. I mean, everybody goes back to that Pau Gasol trade for the Lakers. They literally got Pau Gasol for nothing. Well, the Mavericks literally got 3 good players, like pretty much 3 good players from Washington for nothing, literally. The fact is that Caron Butler, he can be a good scorer at any time to complement Dirk Nowitzki. Deshaun Stevenson, nobody's talking about him, but Deshaun Stevenson's a very good defender, and he will probably have the opportunity to guard a guy like Kobe or LeBron if they go into the finals. And then Brendan Haywood. Brendan Haywood brings that finally much-needed shot-blocking presence that can combat with Pau Gasol and Andrew Bynum. So I think this makes them a legit possibility of winning a championship. Mark Cuban did a great job of getting these players.
Mark Cuban is definitely known for his antics on and off the court, but he is, without a doubt, in my opinion, one of the best owners. He really cares about his players, really tries to bring in the best opportunity to win a championship. Now, Aaron, as you mentioned, a team who's not doing too much to win a championship would be the Houston Rockets. Getting rid of Tracy McGrady, now, I think that's long overdue. I think I'm from Houston, and a lot of us Houstonians think that Tracy has basically done nothing the past 3 years. With Yao Ming out, Tracy's gone. There's not much left for that team to count on. Who do you see maybe stepping up for the rest of the season, taking the reins in for the Rockets?
Well, it has to be Trevor Ariza or it has to be Aaron Brooks. The fact is Trevor Ariza coming over, I don't think he was worth the money that they paid for him. I mean, he was a good player on the Lakers, but the fact is that he is not a number 1 guy. Aaron Brooks is a good point guard, but he is not a number 1 point guard in my opinion. He's more of a shooting guard rather than a distributor. But the fact is that the Rockets making this trade, they basically made themselves better for the future. I mean, one player I really like a lot is Jordan Hill that they got from the New York Knicks. Nobody really knows a lot about him. He didn't really play. He was like kind of the doghouse with D'Antoni. But the fact is, Jordan Hill, if you watched him play at Arizona, he has got a lot of skill and talent that hasn't even been touched. And they have a really good 4 for a couple of years, especially after Scola leaves.
Aaron?
Yeah, I like Scola to be a big impact there, or was at least. And the thing in that trade, though, with Houston, I see it just I'm more interested in what the Knicks are doing over there. They have basically, they're setting up by taking Tracy and taking these players to make some big changes in 2010 and 2011. So I'm kind of smokescreened by that, and I don't really know what Houston's trying to do over there. I think they play well without Tracy. It's a shame that Yao can't stay healthy because he's a great player, one of the best post players in the league right now. But their destiny is unfamiliar where I think they're going to go yet right now.
Just to add one thing to that New York Knicks thing, I really like what you said. The fact is, there's only 2 teams in the NBA right now that can offer max contracts to 2 superstars, and that is New York and that is Miami. Well, Miami already has Dwayne Wade, so they're trying to bring somebody in, maybe like it's a Chris Bosh. But New York, if they can find a way to get LeBron James to come to New York, they can bring a Chris Bosh along the lines and still keep a Tracy McGrady. He's still got some game. I mean, he's only 30. That's prime in the NBA. But the fact is, he's in the perfect system to get his shots, to get his minutes.
Well, he's 30 years old with the back of a 60-year-old.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Now, I want to change subjects for just a minute and talk about Tiger Woods. Like I said, we all saw him give his press statement last Friday. We all saw how he was almost robotic in giving